You're gonna say go, right? Go. Hi, I am Trine Hahnemann. I'm a Danish chef and food writer, and thank you for joining me here tonight. It is actually Castello's Smorging week. That means we are gonna celebrate cheese. Castello has brought to you a whole new way of enjoying cheeses, which we call smorging. I have lots of cheeses right here, and actually I love cheese, so it's a perfect way to show you how we eat cheese in Scandinavia, because this is actually have a reference to Scandinavian way of eating cheese. We call it a smorgasbord, where we get a lot of things together and sit and eat and have our favorite things, favorite cheeses, favorite bread and crisp bread, and then it's like grazing. You could, kind of think of tapas style in a Scandinavian way. So that's the way we do it. So smorging is a new way, it's a modern way, it's a way for you to not have to think about the big meal, but open up your fridge, see what you have in there, and then just, go ahead and try all kinds of different things. And also, get some of your favorite cheeses and try them with lots of different things and see which kind of pairings you like. So smorging is about pairings. Pairings means that you take something off your fridge, or you go shopping and you find things like olives, grapes, cold cuts, herbs, it could be a balsamic glaze, all kinds of things that, the imagination is only the limit. You can do, there's no rules here. Just throw the rule book out and get smorging, because it's about, you helping us inventing a new way of speaking, a new way of eating cheese. I almost say spise, which is to eat in Danish. So, we think smorging could be done both if you are home alone, but also if you're 1, 2, 3, or 12 people for dinner. It's actually that easy to kind of adjust it. A few cheeses, open up your fridge and see what you have if you don't want to go shopping. So, I've already done some recipes and some pairings about the favorite way I eat cheeses, and I kept saying spise, which is a Danish word that's really fun. No. Eating, the way I eat cheese and the way I like to make combinations. I've made seasonal recipes that you can find on Castello's website. But today it's not about my pairings. Today it's about other people who's been so kind to write in and tell us what their favorite things are. And we're going to pair them with some of these cheeses. So I've had people write, Twitter, Facebook, to say, these are my favorite things. Which cheeses do you think I should eat with them? And we're going to start out with that. So I've selected 4 pairings, and the first one is right here, and that is from Noel Heffernan. Thank you, Noel. This is a very interesting combination. There's some creamy blue, which I've chosen, but the pairings I was asked to make was tomatoes, arugula, and bacon, and pasta. But I took out the pasta because for me, the pasta was a bit too weird. Therefore, I adjusted it a little bit. So, if you have your friends over, first you take this Castello Extra Creamy, which is one of the different blue cheeses that Castello does. And this is both creamy, salty, sweet, and has what we call umami. Because when we put these dishes together, we also like to think a little bit about flavors and texture. And flavors is something sweet, something sour, something salty, something umami, which is like that, tastes like meat, bacon, or mushrooms. And to kind of make a whole experience of the taste. This one I am going to serve with rye bread, because there's a lot of flavors in here, and rye bread has a lot of flavor, so that can give it a little bit of edge. So I've toasted some rye bread that I brought from Denmark. This is a traditional bread that we love to eat in Scandinavia. So I cut up little pieces of rye bread and put that on my board as well. And I like to say that you don't have to make it like little canapes that you can do, but you just take this, board, and then you arrange your pairings like this, so it becomes really beautiful. You have the cheese, and then the tomatoes, and then you have the arugula and bacon. So I was going to arrange this as a canapé and show people what I think the pairing should be, and I would show you But actually, this is about it. Now you're ready to get smorging. You just put it together now by yourself, or you help out. And then, of course, if you wanted more than one pairings, you could do different things. You could also have 2 cheeses for this one, or you could have more things to put with 1 cheese. It's all up to you. The most important thing is that you feel playful. Don't think about the rules. Just think about what would be fun and how you would like it to taste. Okay, rye bread, and you could use any crisp bread. You buy rye bread in most supermarkets here in UK, and put the pairings together. So we're going to take a little bit of arugula on top, and a slice of blue cheese, like this. And then I'm going to crumble the bacon a little bit, because I think it looks more festive. A little bit rustic look here to it, and then you put the bacon on top, just like that. And then a tomato. Look at that. Look at the colors. That is just fresh, beautiful, have both sweetness and umami and the saltiness and creaminess. It ticks all the boxes. This is, I think, is a perfect pairing. And now I'm going to taste it, because I actually didn't do this. And I will say there's 4 pairings, and when I've done them all and tasted them in the end of tonight, I will say who I think made the best one. Eating on camera is a bit weird, but I love blue cheese, and you get the creaminess, and then it's, you know, underlined by the bacon, little crispiness from the bread, and then, you know, that acidic taste from the arugula, and then freshness for the tomatoes. Really good pairing. I really, really like it. Okay, I'm just going to clear my board here, and then we're going to move on. So this was from Noel Heffernan. Thank you very much. So I also get some questions here tonight, and the next question I have from Twitter is from Sophie asks, what would be your dream pairing? Yeah, that is a very difficult one, but I think one of my dream pairings is this blue cheese with pear, fresh pear, or just fried a little bit in butter on the pan, walnuts, and a balsamico glaze. That's, for me, it's like both the sweet and the salty, so both have, you know, perfect dessert, but also a perfect starter to a meal. Okay, we're going to move on, and here I have something really, really exciting, and that is the next pairing that I've paired with the. Sorry, just have to do a little bit of cleaning up. That I've, you know, I made up this pairing. It's very exciting because it comes with a new cheese. Vicky Foley has put this together. She'd like to see a pairing with capers, artichokes, roasted peppers, and roasted pine nuts, and a bit of chorizo. Very interesting pairing, very Mediterranean, lots of flavors going on here, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of cheese can actually, you know, take all these flavors. What can, you know, you need a cheese that has a kick, something that can go against it. And therefore, I'm really excited about this aged Havarti, because this is a new cheese Castello is bringing into the market, and it will be available exclusively at Waitrose. So this is very exciting. It's very exciting for me because I know this cheese. I was brought up with this cheese. I love it. It's like a native taste to me, so I'm really happy to share this with you. And I think that this cheese will actually go really well with this pairing. So just going to open it up and put it on the board like this. Yeah. And we're going to cut a few slices of the chorizo, and you can choose any chorizo you want, but I like this little small slices. They're very easy to handle. And we're going to do this, and it's all about getting a wooden chopping board out and make a very rustic kind of, what do you call that? Rustic kind of arrangement. So I'm also going to cut this in slices, because when you sit and graze over cheese, you actually have small bites. So it's easier if you already help your guests out a little bit so they can, you know, sit and put it together. And the same here with these are artichoke hearts. And we are gonna put the toasted walnuts here. So this is from Vicky Foley. And I am gonna add one more thing to this one because you can see lots of creamy and red colors. This needs something green. And over here, I have some flat leaf parsley that I'm gonna add to it, and a bit of coriander. I think the flowery taste and the spiciness of the fresh coriander will go really well with the salty flavors and the sweet flavors here. So you cut your Havarti into slices like this, and now you are ready to serve and ask your guests to get smorging, because this is what it's about. Yeah, this pairing was from Vicky Foley, and I hope you're all going to try it at home as well. It's not only going to be me. So I have some really nice crisp bread made in the style of Scandinavian crisp bread. Very thin, lots of flavor from spelt flour. So I'm going to put a bit of cheese on it. I'm actually going to put 2, so we get a bit of flavor here. And then the roasted pepper on top, a slice of chorizo, and a bit of capers. I think 2 is enough. Oh, I love capers. I mean, there's a lot of acidity going on here. Sweetness here, acidity here, so it's going to be interesting. But then you get the sweetness from the pine nuts and parsley, flat leaf parsley, and also a bit of coriander. Look at this. Again, it's beautiful, it's festive, it's lovely when you do it rustic like that on the board, but it's also lovely when you do little pairings like this. I think they look lovely, so well done, Vicky. Now I'm going to taste. And again, you know, it's not the easiest bite in the world, but I'll try to get it all in there. Mmm. Yeah. You feel like you're on holiday in Spain and Italy, and then with a bit of Scandinavian in there because the lovely cheese and the spiciness. It really works. It's a lot going on here, and you could take half of it and both, but actually you could also do the whole thing. And this Havarti, the creaminess of it is really working through, and it has really strong flavor. So well done, and thank you. Sarah asked, what does Havarti taste like? Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I'm going to do this again. For me, apart from having the taste of my childhood, it's very creamy and sweet and salty at the same time. And then it has a, it doesn't have a flaky texture, but more creamy. We have a cheese in Denmark, which is a morning cheese. It's very creamy, and you can say the Havarti is a bit scaled up from that, so it has a little bit more structure, but it still melts in your mouth when you eat it. And when it gets aged a little like this, it has a long-lasting taste when you have a bite of it, like it stays with you. So I hope that explains it. It's always very tricky to really explain what things taste like, because we all have so different palate. For me, it's sweet, salty, and creamy at the same time. All right. So this was the Havarti from Vicky Foley. Thank you very much. And now we move on to this one. So we have Tekna, which is also the Cheddar style cheese, extra mature. Also like this, looks like this, but it's lovely. Also a really, really nice cheese again. But I do love cheese. So we're going to see which pairing we have here. This is from Nicola Matthews. Thank you very much, Nicola. You also would like to see a cheese with chorizo. This is a little bit different. It has the same Mediterranean kind of mixture. Again, the artichokes, but this time some dried tomatoes, and also a balsamico glaze, which is nowadays really easy because you can just buy one and use it. You know, otherwise, if you don't have one at home, you just boil some balsamic vinegar with a bit of sugar and cool it down and you have a glaze. Very, very easy. And again, remember, smorging is not about going out and shopping a lot of things. It's also about just open up your fridge and see what you have in there. And quite easily, you have lots of little jars with things you left because of you had this for this and that. Even when you talk about mustard, chutney, pestos, red pestos, I mean, all kinds of things. Also, just a little bit of vegetables and fry it up and eat it with it. So, smorging is about, you know, using up what you have in your fridge and make it easy for yourself. That still, you know, doesn't make, we don't want great ideas for how we can do that and get inspiration. So this is a tickler, cheddar style. This is flaky and salty and creamy at the same time. So yeah, just a little bit of that. So we're gonna have some olives with this, and again, we are gonna cut a few slices of the chorizo. In Scandinavia, we also have a lot of sausages, and I absolutely love cheese and sausages together. That is just a match made in heaven. When I was a little girl, my father and me went sailing because of a lot of sea in Scandinavia. That's one of the things he would hand me when it was really windy: a piece of bread with some cheese and some sausages. All right, again, olives, some dried tomatoes, the chorizo, balsamic glaze, and then a bit of artichoke hearts again. A lot of things going on here. So again, it's going to be really interesting to see. Just going to move the other one. It's like a little bit of extra activity going on in the kitchen, keeping track of everything. I'm not going to turn into the Swedish chef. Don't worry. Again, dry bread. I'm going to do this with dry bread because the other one was very with crisp bread, and there's some of the similar flavors. So see how this works. So I got another question, and this is Jim. He's asking, is smorging purely savory, or can you do a sweet pairing? Yes, and we are going to do a sweet pairing. The last one is going to be sweet, but I've also done other sweet pairings that you can find on Costello's website. And I think sweet pairings goes really well with cheese. Like I said, with my favorite one, with pear and balsamic glaze and walnuts, that has sweetness. But also you could do you know, different kind of chutneys which can be sweet, and also some compote, you know, fruit compote, and also preserved cherries or other preserved plums is really well. Also works really well with cheeses. And all the cheeses we have here tonight can be eaten both with savory and sweet things. So here is 2 pieces of rye bread. And this time I'm going to put a little bit of the sun-dried tomatoes on the bread, like this, 2 little pieces. And as you can see, I got the board ready. And you could have served it like this. And again, we are going to have a bit of greens with it before I finish. And this is chives, just cutting a little bit of fresh chives. I absolutely love fresh herbs, and I think it works really well with cheese, and this will give some spiciness. Okay, a piece of cheese on each. So this is tickler, cheddar style, smooth, salty, mature, have also lots of flavor. Piece of chorizo, and then I'm gonna cut the olives. And of course, if you sit at home and do this grazing style, you'd eat a little this and little this, but the pairings can also be made up as these beautiful little canapes. And a piece of artichoke heart. And of course, sometimes it's nice if the pieces are not too big, because they can be a little bit too overpowering if you don't get the balance right. So, like this, a bit of chives on the top. Chives is eaten on cheese in Scandinavia a lot in the summer. So, finishing touch with balsamic glaze. And this is going to be sweet. And a little bit of vinegar as well, but it's going to be really interesting. I'm very, very excited about this. There's a lot going on here. Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, again, lots of flavors that the cheese can actually stand, can fight against it, if you could say it like this. But it also really works with the cheese. It's a lovely way to make a combination of lots of things. Maybe getting a sausage is a little bit milder, so you don't get as much chili through the chorizo. But again, that is balanced out by the balsamic vinegar. So again, an interesting and lovely pairing, and I think it worked really well with rye bread because it gave it some balance. So that goes over here, and then we're going to clear up again for the last pairing. But before I go, I would like to say, Nicola Matthews, thank you very much. That's interesting, and I hope you are inspired to try and do this at home. Yeah. So we have another question here, and the question comes in on Twitter and Facebook. Olivia asked, is there a smorging pairing for every season? Yes, there is. There's one thing that's very important when we talk about Scandinavian food, and that is we are very, very seasonal. So when we talk about coming up with seasonal things, we think about a lot about the vegetables and the fruit, and also the flavors, how we in the summertime love to eat something light, and therefore a pairing with strawberry would fit really well. And if you think about winter, pairing with chutney and then some crisp parma ham or bacon would work really well because that's deep winter flavors. So, of course, all 4 seasons have different pairings, and you would be able to find inspiration and recipes on the Castello website. All right, this was the Nicola pairing, and we're done with that one. And now we are going to have a kind of totally different way of doing a pairing, the sweet one. And I'm so glad I had that question about could we do a sweet one. This is going to be on crisp breads. I'm just going to start with that. So this is the ananas, as we call pineapple in Denmark. This is the pineapple hello, and it's a pineapple cheese, yeah. And this was like such a famous cheese when I was a little kid, or a little girl. My mother, she would serve this, and I absolutely loved it. And I haven't seen it for years, so I'm so happy that it's back here in UK, because I really loved it, and I've been playing around with this a lot, and I really, really think it has potential, especially when we talk about sweet pairings. So I'm going to put that out here, and then I'm going to arrange a little bit of parma ham. And of course, it's important also to say that I'm just putting the pairing together to taste it and show it to you. You can just sit in grace. You don't have to put the pairing together like I'm doing. It's about making the board and put people around it. And then you can of course do an example, say a pairing is actually this, but if you just want to sit with little that, do it like that. You don't have to follow the rules. Remember, it's very important. This is about like really open-ended, use your imagination, do all kinds of fun things. So dark chocolate. So this pairing comes from Sarah Cannon. And I had to change it a little bit because there was some flavors in there I thought wouldn't work. So I took out the mascarpone and the dried tomatoes because I thought that was a bit too weird. So I just had to check on that. And I'm just going to chuck the chocolate here directly on my bowl. And actually, I was so excited because I have never had chocolate and cheese together before. And it's kind of weird why I haven't put that together myself. So when I saw there was a lot of people who wrote in who had chocolate in the pairings, I thought, okay, let's try it. And I immediately thought it had to be with the pineapple hello, because you know the flavor. This is a cheese that's both sweet and savory at the same time, and then it has a distinct taste of pineapple, and then it has a very lovely creamy texture. And for me, it's really something from my childhood. It really brings back so many memories of dinner party my mother would have, and then she would serve cremant with it, and have her friends over and sit and eat it. And they eat it mostly on crisp bread with some fresh peppers and things like that. So this is a completely new way of pairing it. So we have the crisp bread, and you kind of arrange it like this, and this is your pairing. This is very simple. I will say that this can go also with fruit. It's very good with strawberries, but also you could chop up some fresh pineapples and then, kind of broaden out the pairing. So it looks like this, a little piece of the pineapple hello. Put it on the crisp bread. Yes. Now the really exciting thing, we're gonna put Parma ham underneath. And I tell you, this is working. I really think it's working, because the saltiness of the Parma ham that comes in the end, where you when you eat this, is together with the chocolate and I must say, it surprised me a lot. And we have another quick question. Tia is asking me, what is your favorite Scandi quick fix for lunch? Toasted rye bread with creamy castello and slices of cucumber or slices of tomatoes, a bit of salt and pepper. I eat that so often because I just have to. I'm on the run and I just have to have something tasty and healthy. So that wasn't difficult to answer. So again, a little bit of chocolate on top. All right, what do you think? Crisp bread, Parma, the pineapple hello, and some chopped chocolate, and it comes from Sarah Cannon, who would like to see a pairing with that. So again, I'm going to taste it. Yeah. Believe me, it really works. But it is kind of dessert. But if you put a few pairings together, this would be a beautiful, beautiful way to end it. It would be really, it really works. This is, I think it's one of my it's gonna be one of my favorite. And also, you can win some prizes if you submit some questions. So please feel free to tweet some questions right now, challenge me, see what I can come up with of answers for how to actually be able to eat some of these wonderful cheeses. So I just want to show you. So we have the crisp bread, the hello, the Parma, and the chocolate. That was one pairing. And then I'm going to arrange it a little bit over here. Sorry. Yeah. Don't be afraid of using the whole kitchen. All right. Tom is asking what my favorite Castello cheese is. And I think that's a very difficult question to answer because I like a lot of them. And but this one, creamy blue, is my favorite because that's, I don't know, I always love blue cheese, but this is not, it is creamy and therefore not like a punch in the face like blue cheese can be, which is really great in some certain circumstances or certain, when you eat certain things at certain, occasions. But this one is for me the thing I eat in the morning, and also on my lunch rye bread. So I put this on rye bread or crisp bread in the morning with jam, and I eat it quite a few times every week, and I've done since I was like maybe 2, or so this has been part of, and this is really true. So it will always have a very good place in my heart. So this is one of my favorites. So when I smoke, when I get smoking, not smoke, yeah. When I don't plan it so much. My favorite time to get smoking is actually when you have the surprise guests coming over. And you can say, because I eat a lot of cheese on open sandwiches and rye and crisp bread, because that is part of my diet. That's one of the ways we eat in Scandinavia. So, but if I'm like gonna formalize it a little bit, I will say that, people love to turn up unannounced to my house, and I will be, okay, what are we gonna eat? I will then open up my fridge and see what I have, and mostly I will I'll take out some vegetables and stir fry them a little bit with a little bit of flavor and have that in a bowl. Take out some herbs, some salad, and all my little jars with different things. And then all of a sudden I can put, quite an impressive meal out of nothing in 20 minutes. And then of course either serve with a really nice cup of tea, some juices, or a nice bottle of wine. And so I will say, when I think about it, smorging is very much in the moment where I have to come up with a solution, because I actually do it every day, but I don't think about it as much. Karen is asking, what ingredients should I buy for a smorging dinner party? I think you should try to widen it and go for 3 or 4 cheeses, and be sure to include the pineapple hallow so you have a sweet ending. And then you could start out with also have some fresh ingredients like salad or berries or cucumber, tomatoes, celery, and then serve that. And then have buy a few things of that, and then buy a pesto, some interesting mustard, a few condiments that you like that can go with different things, and also a sweet one, which could be like a red currant jell, which goes really well with the creamy blue. And then don't buy too hot a chutney. Buy a sweet chutney that's not too spicy, because that goes really well with the tickler and with the Havati. And I'm going to bring back some of these so we can see what it would look like if I was going to have a dinner party in my house and I was going to get smoking. I would put it all up a bit like this, and you have to imagine that you're not at home, but you're actually sitting around here and getting ready to eat with me, and just dig in and graze. And also, what is really great about smoking is you can do it for hours. We're not talking about it has to be a 21-hour meal. It's like a 2-3 hours thing where you eat a little, you drink, you talk, and you enjoy yourself. So Emily's asking me, what is the perfect drink to smoke with? Yeah, I mean, personally, I would say for me it's tea or wine. But if you go to Pastell's website, there's a lot of suggestions of different drinks you could do. And you could also do like a Virgin Bloody Mary that would go especially well with some of these more Mediterranean style smokings. And I also actually think that a fruit punch would go really well with the pineapple hallow. So what I'm doing right now is actually arranging a whole smoking setup. And please send us some questions on Twitter about, you could open up your fridge and see what you have in there, and then ask me if there's any of that could go with any of the cheeses that Castello is presenting to you. So over here, we're going to put the chorizo. It's going to have space for all of this. So Jeff is asking, what are the various bases I can use? Yeah. I'm going to bring in a new one. Apart from the rye bread, which I have toasted, but you don't have to do that. I think You can't use too soft, like a normal white soft toast bread. That you could use as well, but it has to be toasted really, hard, or so it becomes a bit crispy. Then we have the crisp bread here, and then pizza bread. Pizza bread. That was Danish. Sorry, brød is bread in Danish, so my Danish is coming through now. This is. I would also put this up, but put it into little pieces. And this is one with the wholemeal flour. So, and I'm going to do a little bit of washing up here. For a plate. Yeah, so we get ready with all of it. And then I have another kind of crisp bread. You know, when you go to Scandinavia, we have so many kinds of different crisp breads. I feel that it has to be something crunchy underneath, or I think that's the best solution. But that doesn't mean you could, if you have a piece of leftover bread, cut it into slices and toast it either in your toaster or in a little bit of butter on the pan. That also adds flavor. So, look at this. We are about to have a whole Smorging. So, I have another question. Rajiv asked, do you have any Smorg suggestions for Christmas? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love Christmas, and in Scandinavia, Christmas is a big, big thing. I think the blue cheeses, blue cheeses with a glass of port and some grape or preserved cherry or grape jam with a bit of, it's like for me the end of an evening snack that's really, really wonderful at Christmas time. But also if you have some leftover fruit, put it in the pan with a bit of cloves and cardamom and some of these Christmas spices, add a bit of honey and just toast it for a few minutes, and then eat it with either blue cheese or the tickler or the Havarti. It will go with all of them. And also dried apricots, dried figs, a bit of toasted nuts with a dash of balsamico is also really like Christmas flavors. And especially the blue cheese, they all kind of have enough flavor in there to be able to play with a lot of other flavors. So don't be afraid of that, because Christmas flavor can be quite punchy. And then we also have the creamy white, which I'm gonna put over here. Okay, I'm gonna move. See, I'm trying to get my Smorging table ready for all of you. And I wish I could bring you taste through the screen, but you have to imagine it and then hurry down and start buying things for the Smorging, or open up your fridge, as I say. Keep saying the same goes for that. Open up your fridge, see what you have, and get it together. Pink. Sorry. Thea McKenzie is one of the winners, and she can pick her favorite pairing out of this. So you want my favorite pairing? I'm talking to the camera here. Okay, Thea, my favorite pairing out of this. You'd like to know? Yeah, this is a kind of very interesting. Me being in the kitchen, feeling you're all out there with me for this Smorging dinner party. My favorite pairing. Yeah, I am like so much going on here. I'm thinking. That would be the crisp bread today with the parma and the hello and the chocolate. I don't know. This is just my new thing. I absolutely love this. But this is one of the winners, so it's not actually mine. So that will have to wait. So I have to think about which one out of this I could make for myself. But of all the 4 pairings that I had in here today, I will say that this one will be the winner. I would say I took out the mascarpone and the sun-dried tomatoes because it was too weird. But with the pineapple hallow chocolate and parmesan and this crisp bread, it really, really works. It would also work on the rye bread. It really would. So I'm actually going to put this little one. So if we're going to the salty part, my favorite pairing would be rye bread, the new Havarti. Don't forget that you can get this new wonderful cheese exclusively at Waitrose. And I would have a bit of arugula and a tomato and a piece of parmesan. See? That would be my sitting here grazing over my smorging table, just like this. That would be my favorite. I'm going to put this down here. And from the live questions, I would like to say that Thea, you are the winner. And thank you for your question. And I have to look at my, that disappeared, I'm so sorry. Sarah Hahnemann, you are the winner of the pairings, because I think that little, I kind of got a new little dessert thing going on here. So I will recommend everybody who gets Smorging that they actually get the pineapple hallow and find some savory and sweet things to put with it, and especially the chocolate. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. It's been really fun, and in my kitchen here, where we have been doing some real Smorging, I really, really hope that you've been inspired and you go and open your fridge, find the things, go to the supermarket, get the cheeses, and if you need more inspiration, please go to Castello's website and get recipes that are done for pairings like this. Don't follow the rules. Look at them, get inspired, but do your own thing of all the wonderful ideas there is. Goodbye, and thank you very much.